Mrs. Cahoon?
Here.
Ms. Collins?
Here.
Dr. McFadden?
Here.
Mr. Monk?
Here.
Mr. Rickman?
Here.
Mr. Walker?
Here.
Mrs. Walker?
Here.
A quorum has been established. Next on the agenda, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next on the agenda, citizens' comments. This is the portion of the meeting where you, the citizens of the Mount Clemens Community School District, can address the board with any of your questions, comments, or concerns. We ask that you come to the microphone, state your name and address. Also be mindful you may not receive a response to your particular inquiry here this evening. Be mindful you have 3 minutes by which to make your inquiries. Last but not least, I ask that you address all questions, comments, concerns to the chair. The agenda is now open for citizens' comments.
Patrick Liberty, Senior Producer, 155 Cass Avenue. I'd like to do some city liaisoning if I wish, because it's that time of year again. Friday night is our downtown tree lighting and open house, which starts at 5:30. It's also the night that the Goodfellows do their 777 raffle and worship Santa into town, so it's a good time to make sure you get down on Macomb Place and enjoy that. And of course, Saturday is the parade. I get my life back. I'm very excited about that. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's supposed to be sunny and almost 50, so I'm really excited. We should have a great turnout this year. We have 7 marching bands. We have over 120 units this year, so one of our biggest parades. We're really excited about it, and we hope you guys come out and join us and enjoy ushering in the holiday. And of course, I want to remind you guys about the tinsel tour. I think I talked to you guys maybe separately about this. This is the 6th year that the city's doing this. For $100, you can get a tree with 3 strands of, or 200 lights. It's got the placard for the schools that you guys can decorate themselves. It's going to be in Cherry Street Mall this year, and they will also dispose of them too for you. So they go up December 3rd, and they run through the new year. I think they stay up until like January 4th or something like that. So traditionally, the district has always bought a few trees, one for each building, and some different groups have bought them as well. I'm going to leave this with the money people, so they know when to write the check, and hopefully you guys can do that. And again, they'll start on December 3rd. That's through the city. That's the tinsel tour. So that's all I have.
What time is the parade?
Parade starts at 10 a.m. Most of the folks that are volunteering will be there well, I'll be there early, but most of our kids are arriving around 8:30, depending on what assignments they have. It's also community service, so if you know anybody who needs community service hours, send them my way. I'll make sure they get fed. I'll get them some community service hours, and I will sign their sheets. I've already got 30 or 40 kids signed up, so we're in good shape. All right? Thank you, and happy holidays.
Thank you, sir. The agenda is still open for citizens' comments.
Nelson Jackson, 615 Wellington Crescent, Mount Clemens. I'd like to compliment our superintendent, Mr. Rober, for his leadership and efforts with school recruitment on this year. It's my understanding that it's stabilized. He's somewhat stopped the hemorrhaging. While one person doesn't do it, I know it's a team effort, the person at the leadership role gets all the credit, all the blame. So I'd like to compliment him on that. I remember him talking about during his interview was retention, recruitment, retention, and graduation. So compliments to you and the board.
Thank you for your comments, sir. Agenda is still open for citizens' comments. Second call, citizens' comments. Last call, citizens' comments. Hearing or seeing none, moving the agenda forward. Next on the agenda, item 5, Principals Quarterly Update. Mr. Roper.
Well, good evening, everyone, board, community, staff who's here. I just wanted to first of all, I appreciate the comment that was just made. As I sit up here at this table, I almost get emotional looking out at this crowd because I sent an email to the staff and asked for them to show up to support their buildings and their principals are presenting, because we need to do a better job at acknowledging and focusing on the positives. And in the work that we're doing, in my over 20 years in this work, it is probably the toughest that it's been. And these people in this room come here every day, give everything, and sometimes we just don't feel appreciated or acknowledged or know if we even having an impact. And as an educator, that's one of the most devastating and am my time up? Devastating and hurtful things. And so I just want to say, first, I appreciate the people in this room that showed up to support their buildings. No, we're not perfect, but there are a lot of celebrations and a lot of great things still happening despite the things that are not perfect. So I appreciate everybody in this room who didn't have to be here at 6:30 at night for coming out and showing up for your buildings and for our community and our kids. It's going to take all of us as a village to be united, to come together. We may not agree on everything, but when we show up, we need to show out, and we need to be able to acknowledge the positives and celebrate when it's appropriate, because it just doesn't happen enough. And there's a lot of great things happening in Mount Clemens Community Schools. So everybody should be proud. Our principals are going to present. Lou is going to start with the GSRP, some updates, and then we'll be followed by Mrs. Bethel and Mrs. McNeely. After that, we'll do some presentations and updates on their building celebrations, acknowledgments, growth areas, etc. So thank you all for being here, staff. We appreciate you. I know you may not hear it or feel it all the time because we're always in the struggle, but you are appreciated. You can work anywhere in the world and you choose to work here. So we don't take that for granted. So we're going to have Lou start, and we're going to ask the principals to present here so their back doesn't have to be to the audience. Let's give it up for Lou.
Is the mic on? Okay. Thank you. I'm Lou Sass, the GSRP coordinator. We are now housed at Seminole Academy. I would like to have the GSRP staff that have given up their evening to come here at 6:30 on a Wednesday to stand up and be recognized. We travel as a staff. We are a great family, and we stick together, and we work as a phenomenal team, as evident by the turnout that we have tonight. I would like to update you on the Great Start Readiness Program, otherwise known as GSRP. We moved from King Academy with 4 classrooms Monday through Thursday to Seminole Academy with 5 classrooms Monday through Friday. This extended week is a huge benefit for the families, but the only small little kink in it for our scheduling is there's minimal prep time for the teachers to complete everything that they needed to do. So I appreciate and respect that our teachers have given up their own personal time to do everything that a teacher does during planning to do after hours when they are officially off the clock. And I applaud and respect my teachers for that, and they know I'm working on things to get that recognized. After cleaning every classroom, unpacking every box, moving furniture, and obtaining every license inspection required by Lansing, our program opened October 23rd with 41 students. Our enrollment as of today is 59 students, and it continues to grow weekly, as just this afternoon we had 2 more families come in to take enrollment packets. Our goal is to try to reach 80 by the mid-February, which is our enrollment cutoff date, which I truly believe we will be able to achieve this year. We are still able to accept any 4-year-old as long as they're 4 by December 1st. So if you happen to know any 4-year-olds, please send them to us over at Seminole Academy. I would like to invite all of the board members and any other guests and staff that are here to come see it and come see us and tour our program at Seminole. We have our own pod, which is all 4-year-olds to include the early childhood special ed classroom is down with us. And just to see what we did when we left King, we came over and we transformed our pod area to be a preschool program that the families really enjoy and appreciate, that we have gone beyond that for them. If any of you have time, please come and see us. And if you have an extra 10 to 15 minutes and would like to read a story to our children, they would love to enjoy that story with you. So, and if you don't have a book, we have plenty that we can share with you to come. So I look forward to seeing the board and any other guests and staff that are here tonight. Come on over to Seminole. Aim towards the main entrance, but go to the right. You'll see a sign that says GSRP and ECSE. We have our own doorbell. You're more than welcome to come in and see us. So thank you.
One of the things that she kind of skimmed over, and I'm very proud of, is that we are one of the, some districts are beginning to fall in line, but we're one of the few and pioneers in going from a 4-day program to a 5-day program. As you can imagine, that impact on parents, that you got somewhere for your child to go for 4 days, and on Friday, what do, right? It's convenient. It's helpful for them because that was their planning day, to get business done, paperwork, but now they have lost that opportunity. But our families in our community have gained school on Friday. So I just want to acknowledge that's a big deal. Not all districts have done that, and we're kind of ahead of the curve with doing that for our community. So thank you all for being willing to do that. And Luke, thank you. Mrs. Betho, come on up, Seminole Academy.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for coming out and sacrificing your evening. I just want to say that Miss Lou and the crew have been awesome. They have been so wonderful. We're sharing a space and we're a community together. They've been helpful, they've been team players, and they have supported us 100%, and we appreciate that. This is our presentation. I've had help and input from the Seminole Academy team, so I can't take credit for it. We all did it together. So this is what we're sharing with you all this evening. Go ahead, David. So our RIT score is 27% for ELA, 21% for math. These are a couple of the pictures that we have from some of the events that we had. The first one is a beautification project that Michelle has been doing at the school, and that's some of the scholars she took pictures of. They're adorning our hallways. They're huge. They're blown up. I hope you guys get a chance to come by and see it. And the second is a picture of Operation School Bell that we'll talk about a little bit later. So the academic supports that were put in place as a result in response to our RIT scores that are there for our scholars to help them to close educational gaps is the IXL Learning Path that supports them with reading and math, and also helps them to prepare for the assessments. We have push in and pull out reading and math interventionists that are helping our children with small, they're helping our children to get the attention that they need in small groups to help strengthen their reading and their math. The Mount Clemens Public Library has been partnering with us to do the mobile book units, story time, and they're also entertaining literacy groups to help support our literacy at the school. I'm looking at it at an angle, I'm sorry. Next time I'll bring my own copy. Oh, the small group instructions are taking place inside the classrooms. Also, Wayne State University has an apprenticeship program. They come out and provide support in the classrooms to the teachers. It's an opportunity for them to get their feet wet and see if education is going to be the right thing for them. They have been phenomenal. A support for the teachers, building relationship with our students, and it's just really exciting to see the next group of teachers that's going to be coming in and taking over education. We also have EPIC computer program that supports the children with their reading, Prodigy for math and ELA interventions. We have our after school program. Session 1 is wrapping up. Session 2 will be starting in December 11th. And they get meals, and they also have transportation provided to give them the additional support that they need. We drop everything and read in an effort to also increase their fluency, their vocabulary, and their reading support.
Ms. Beth, I think you skipped over the parent-teacher conference. I don't want you to
Oh,
do that.
I'm sorry.
Because
I'm looking
that,
at it at an angle. The parent-teacher conference, we had 63% participation. We're wanting to increase that by including phone conferences and Zoom conferences for our next conference, and then we'll also have the face-to-face as well. We wanted to invite them in an intimate setting so they can see the classroom, see where their children are learning, be able to meet the teacher, see where their child sits, and what the classroom looks like for the first one. The second one will be in the gymnasium, and then we'll also entertain Zoom and phone conference options so we can increase that. Next slide. This is Mrs. Johnson, our gym teacher, who is also a parent, and that's her son. They were dressed up for our Halloween program, and this is a picture of the two of them together. Some of the things that we've done to improve our culture and climate. We also have a relationship with Chip, who is the AKA from the New Haven chapter, and they provide support for our children so that they can have meals over the weekend. They also do holiday meals as well. So it's the children, I gotta look at this, I can't see. It's the Children Hunger Initiative Power Packs. And they're green backpacks, non-perishable items. They drop them off every Thursday, and then they go home with the kids on Fridays. And that's to help out. We also had heart healthy lessons provided by Oakland University nurses program. They came out on the 1st, the 8th, and the 15th, and they did heart healthy lessons with the scholars in the classroom. The lesson lasts about 30 minutes, and they went to every classroom in our building. They also came last year and did hand hygiene lessons, and they had the glow in the dark, and the kids could see all the germs, and they enjoyed it. Grand Valley University is doing a luncheon on 11/21, and when they come out, they talk about educational opportunities for staff members that might want to go back to school and further their education. We also had a presentation at our staff meeting with Nurse Mary, and she talked to us about seizure awareness and also gave us a demonstration on the proper use of our AED machine. We have our daily morning announcements from our scholars, and they come and they do the Pledge of Allegiance, and they also do our Tiger Pride Promise, letting everyone know what the expectation is on the campus. We had grade level assemblies at the beginning of the school year to let the scholars know what the expectation is on the campus, on the buses, in the classroom, in the lunchroom. For all facilities, what it was that they needed to do and why. We had a fall and winter door decorating contest. We have a winter wonderland theme. Darren came over today and he recorded it, so it should be streaming soon. We also did some campus safety enhancements. We had parent volunteer opportunities. And right now, it's a campus beautification project. Seminole Academy never looked better. I hope you guys come by and see and witness it for yourself. It is absolutely gorgeous. Next slide. All right. So the celebrations that we had, we have our Winter Wonderland Facebook Live post from Miss Dawn, Miss Michelle. They have outdone themselves and done a fantastic job. Our teachers are also participating by decorating their doors. Kensington Church has holiday giveaways. They are partnering with us. Operation School Bell came out, gave every child a coat, hat, gloves, scarves, book, duffel bag, hygiene kit, tops. And it was really wonderful to see the children be able to shop and go and pick what they wanted and get things that they really needed. It was a heartwarming experience. I was so glad that our school was selected and we got an opportunity for those children to get the support that they so richly deserve. Right now we have 394 students enrolled, less than 10% suspension rate, 6% chronic absenteeism, which comes out to be 22 students. The coming attractions, we have the Secret Santa shopping that's going to start on 12/18. Metro Parks is partnering with us to do some in-school and out-of-school field trips. And also there is a planning going on for the students to visit the state capitol. Next slide. This is our door decorating contest. We had our parent involvement committee meeting the last Friday in September and the last Friday in October, and they were able to vote for the door decorating contest on the teachers' doors that they liked, and we awarded a prize for first, second, and third, and those teachers were recognized at our staff meeting on Tuesday. Next slide. So this is a few highlights. That's our vestibule area. That's some snapshots from our parent involvement committee. Me and Ms. Johnson participating in the Halloween parade. Next slide. That's Michael. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you so much for your time and attention.
Thank you, Ms. Betho. And again, I just want to acknowledge and give a shout out to the Seminole staff because as an elementary school principal for 9 years, less than 10% absenteeism and 6% chronic, less than 10% suspensions and 6% chronic absenteeism means that the kids are at school a lot. And so that keeps us busy. So that's intentional, and I know you all have been willing to accept that challenge, and we know our kids can't learn if they're not in school. So I appreciate that view of you making adjustments and the way that we're going about making sure our kids learn and keeping them in the building is challenging, and we're all learning together. So I appreciate you. Shout out to the Seminole Academy staff for doing what you do. Mrs. McNeely? Oh, she's hiding behind. All right, let's give it up for Mrs. McNeely, secondary.
Okay, so thank you everyone for coming, all the staff and families and parents and community. We're happy that you're here. I just want to say the staff and at the secondary complex has been working really hard to meet the needs of our students and to close all the gaps. So we know that the needs are great and we are making strides, and we're just going to keep doing it, go back and do it again tomorrow. So welcome. So this first slide is about our enrollment here. There has been historically a decline at the transition from elementary to middle school. Again, not too much of a decline from last year to this year. So last year is the blue, this year is the red. And so we have seen there was an increase in 8th grade. And is that's high school? Sorry.
You can take that
They
off
look
if
like,
you want to come on.
okay. I'm okay.
Oh.
Yeah, things.
want to be
Yeah, no, it's okay. Okay, so this is our high school enrollment, and we have seen increases in most of our high school classes. We are up, again, we're in the red for this school year, and we do have 2 classes that are over 60, which is a big improvement from last year and from the year before. So this is overall enrollment for the entire secondary complex. Again, blue is last year, red is a comparison to this year. And so it doesn't look great. You know, I meant to say the increases don't look like they're huge. However, it does amount to 20 extra students, which is a great increase for us since we've been historically declining. So a gain of 20 students is fantastic. So, and that's thanks to everybody here. This next slide is about NWEA and student achievement. The first one is middle school. So this is comparison of reading and math proficiency. So reading is on the right, math is on the left. I'm sorry. My husband always says I can't tell my left from my right. So the reading is on the left and the math is on the right. And the blue is last year, red is this year. So what you're looking at are the initial scores. So their initial RIT scores of the students who were at or above proficiency. So this is the comparison to what their peers tested last year. So since we don't have the data, they haven't tested again, we'll have comparison data to those students in the winter when they test in January. But so this is comparing last year to this year, and we do have a considerable increases in some areas. We still have room to grow. We still have a lot of work to do, but we are seeing that they're coming in stronger, which is positive. And this slide is our high school. Same comparison. We have reading on the left, math on the right. The blue is last year, the red is this year. There are little, some dips in some places, but overall, achievement is up. They are starting stronger, so we're hoping that we'll have a much stronger finish. There's also on there, hopefully you can see it, the norms where the student should be. So that would be the fall norm percentiles of where the average student in the United States falls. Okay, so our next is attendance. And as most of us know, the attendance at the secondary complex is an issue, and we are working on that every day. But you will see that the things that we are doing, that we're starting to do, is having an effect. On the left are the chronic absences from the first quarter for last year, and the chronic absences for this year. So we have seen a decline. This is for middle school. And the Michigan Department of Education does define chronically absent as a student missing 10% of the days that they should be in school. So that number will change as we are in school for more days. And then this is high school. It's trending down. We still have a lot of work to do, but we are seeing some improvement. So I think in just a couple months, we've already made a dramatic change in the lives of our students, and we're going to keep doing that work. Okay, so this is some of the stuff that we are doing to help meet our attendance goals. We are implementing eWIMS, which is an early warning, intervention, and monitoring system. And we have a coordinator of our eWIMS, and that's Kaylee DeSicco. And she's been doing a lot of hard work. We have team meetings. We meet twice a month. We just had a meeting this morning as well. Various members from the secondary complex, Kaylee, Dina Pankatai, Danielle Stevens, Alexis Terry, Thomas Hanna, Teresa Hasenauer, David Lavender, and myself are on the team. We've been doing training that has been funded through a grant that Kaylee wrote. MDE is helping us with implementing this. And part of our new attendance procedures include making phone calls. So we have the robocalls that go out that weren't going out, so they are now re-implemented. Those are going out in the evening when a student misses. We also are making actual personal phone calls. So we have people that make phone calls. If they are unable to reach a person, then we also send a letter. And we also have our two MDHHS employees that are here housed in the building. We have one for high school, one for middle school, Ms. Horton and Ms. Chapman, and they also assist us with reaching out to families. The next slide is on discipline, and we've been focusing a lot on changing the mindset of discipline here at school, focusing on interventions and changing behavior. So we have seen an increase, or decrease, I should say, an increase in positive behaviors, a decrease in suspensions. So this is for middle school, and it's comparing the first quarter of last year to the number of suspensions to the first quarter of this year. So dramatic change. And then the next slide is high school. So again, on the left last year, on the right this school year. So this slide talks about some of the things that we are doing to focus on discipline. We are doing MTSS, interventions. We're focusing a lot on that on the classroom level first. We spent a lot of time this summer with about 10 staff members focusing on revising our behavior matrix. So the teachers are enabled to handle some of those discipline issues in the classroom, and thereby we're helping with a lot of other things like attendance and test scores, because we're keeping kids in the room where they should be, so they're getting their learning. So we are also focusing on changing the behavior, not punishment. Visibility in the classrooms, outside of the classrooms, of all adults in the building, in the hallways, so that they can see that there is supervision and they see everyone. And restorative practices with teachers, admin, and also the counseling staff. Okay, so now some of the good stuff. It's all good stuff, but this is the fun stuff. Okay, so some of the celebrations. Miss Terry and I are going to training. It's called the Macomb County Secondary Counselor Hatching Results. And so it's focused on having a strong counseling program in the school. It's a 3-year training. We're both very committed to it. And the purpose is to design a comprehensive school counseling program that is very strong in MTSS. So we'll be implementing interventions that way, and giving the students basically what they need to be successful here at school. So career interests, college tracking, transition periods from elementary to middle school to high school, and developing a counselor curriculum. Some more celebrations. We are bringing back middle school sports to the secondary complex. We do hope that that helps with that middle school decline. So right now we have wrestling, we have esports, and basketball. This is another celebration. We did send some middle school students to the Next Gen STEM event, which was held at the Lexus Velodrome in Detroit, put on by MTU, Michigan Tech University. And it was on National STEM Day, which was November 8th. And the kids got to interact with some scientists, do experiments, learn about STEM and careers. And apparently their favorite experiment was chocolate ice cream made with liquid nitrogen. So always a good thing. We also are having student council and a student leadership team back at the school. I'm not sure how long it's been gone, but it's back now. So we do have a middle school president and a vice president, the high school president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer, as well as a principal advisory committee, which is made up of 11 middle and high school students. And we also have one student who is a spokesperson for our middle school and high school exceptional students. So for those students who are typically underrepresented in these kinds of activities. So we're really proud to have him. And their first business is inventorying the school store, which is our Bather Buck store. Another celebration, I'm really proud of this one, is last week we had a school partnership roundtable. We had about 20 individuals here, as is in the picture, and those people were from the Henry Ford Clinic, MDHHS, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority, NAACP, Kingdom Community Development Center, Elms Family and Community Services, Democracy for All, New Way Works, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, the Junior Optimists, First United Methodist Church, and the YMCA Detroit. And I realize I forgot to add someone very important, which, Carolyn, you'll be on the list to come for next time. So we are going to be meeting to look at closing our gaps in our school, helping students with social, economic, and educational gaps, giving them life skills, financial literacy, career readiness, civic engagement, parent engagement. We're going to have a parent resource center, tutoring, and mentoring programs. So I'm really, really proud of all of that work. And then, there was the list there, yeah. And then we also have some more celebrations. We are trying to become culturally responsive, which means that we are just trying to understand other people and all about other people. So as a team, over the summer, we did do a book study on the book called The Poverty Problem, and it was so impactful to the team that they unanimously decided that they needed to have the entire staff read this book because it's just so impactful. So we have a grant, and we will be doing that as a team here. We also had a emotional support dog here for 2 days, and the kids loved it. There was a little, hesitancy at first, but by the end of the day, they were just asking for them to come back the next day. So they were here for 2 days. And we are also working on better communication. So there's the weekly Bather briefing that's sent out to parents through telephone call, email, and text, and also the Bather Babble, which is produced by our students, is doing a weekly broadcast as well. And that is all. Thank you so much.
Again, I would like to thank all the staff that was here. While the celebrations are important and the feel-good things are great, they all play a part in developing the whole child, which is part of our focus, right? However, the things that they both talked about, both principals talked about the growth in, or the decrease or decline, which is growth for us as a district in chronic absenteeism, in suspensions. Again, those things are critical to our success, right? Finding out ways to develop ourselves to help our kids stay in school is going to help us fulfill our bigger mission, our bigger goal, which is helping impact our kids' lives and preparing them for their future. As we go along throughout this process, we will collect cohort data, right? So we'll do comparisons of the 6th graders this year, next year they're 7th graders, let's see where they are, and we'll be able to compare apples to apples and look at subgroups and cohorts, groups of students to really know our impact. We'll use that information to determine what we do, right? One of the biggest focuses for me has been being a data-driven district, right? And be intentional with everything that we do based off what the data says, not what we necessarily feel. I say that all the time, and it ruffles people's feathers. It's not that I don't care about your feelings or they're not important, but when a parent is deciding what school they're going to send their kids to, it's about what we can prove to them. And so while the social emotional piece and the feelings of our kids and our staff is important, and the health of our staff is important as well, we got to be able to prove the things that we do. And so we'll continue to present and represent data and information just like this, and be transparent is a goal, right? We have to tell the story, good or bad. It is what it is. There's no secrets. And when there's no secrets, then we all can work together to address it. So again, the success that you've seen up here is because of the people in this room. Before everybody leaves, because I know they're dying to stay for the rest of our board meeting. That's so much fun and short and sweet. I wanna give the last celebration. And David, if you look up here one more time, this celebration, you can say what you want to say or give credit who you want to give credit to. This is a 20-year trend since 2003 of our enrollment from year to year. And if you start down at that end, you can see we lost 17 students in 2004 and going down the line. Year after year, we declined 230, 253. So I want everybody to give themselves a pat on the back and a round of applause, because for the second time in over 20 years, and that's how far back the data could come, we have not only stopped the decline, but to increase in the state and the culture of what we were in is a huge victory for this district. And while I don't do a great job of celebrating because the job is never done, we deserve to acknowledge this and the impact of this. And the truth of the matter is, I had this conversation with Pastor Larry, popped in my office today. He's right there, he can tell you this. Full transparency, had this not happened, we all wouldn't probably be sitting here right now, because there would have had to be some tough decisions made. So the work that we're doing works, and it's hard. It's not easy to get up and come and get beat up every day, and the pressure that you all are under and the pressure I'm pushing down, but it works, and it works for the bigger cause of why we all got into this business. So keep doing what you're doing. Give yourselves a round of applause, because this is our data. And we will continue, as when we do right by people. We won't be perfect, but as we do right, and our intent is to do right by all people, that number will continue to go up. They'll find us. Word of mouth is the #1 recruiter. And there are going to be people, no matter what we do, we're going to fall short. That's fine too. But when we do what's right by people, they will find us. And we keep pushing and we use data to determine what we do. And we inform and educate our community. And we embrace whoever walks through our doors. We're not like some schools, I won't say any names, but we can pick and choose who walks through our door. We take whoever walks in with whatever they come with. And now we're in the midst of developing the skills for ourselves to deal with whatever that may be. And that's very difficult, because none of them learn that in the School of Ed. And so it's on-hand experience and training in the moment, and it's tough. And so I appreciate all of you coming, 30 kids, 40 kids in the class, whatever it is. If you weren't here, they'll have nowhere to go. So while we don't oftentimes say thank you, I want to say thank you, and the job is not done, onward and upward. But I know some of you are ready to go eat, do your family thing. If you want to leave, have a great night. Thank you for coming and showing out, supporting our district. Without you, there is no us. So keep up the good work, and we will continue to grow. So thank you, principals. Thank you for the great job in the presentations. I've been giving them a lot of feedback on their presentations and things. It is critical that we paint the picture, and we tell our truth. Good or bad, here's the data, this is what it is, and this is what we're doing to address it, and we'll show the growth. It will happen. We just have to stay the course, and it won't be easy. And everybody won't be here, because the mindset that it takes to do what we're doing, everybody didn't sign up for that, right? So it's hard. You gotta wanna work with the kids that we service, and it's not easy. There's a lot of easier places to work, but if you choose to work here, I guarantee you the reward will be much greater. The celebration will be much greater. So thank you. You know I can talk forever. Have a great night, and keep it moving. Did I forget somebody? I'll get an email. Well, let's thank the board for giving this opportunity. All right, board. Okay.
thank everyone for their attendance and the hard work and the efforts that you do in your classrooms and your buildings every day. We really appreciate it. Before we go on to our action items, which require votes, I would like to, on August the 27th, this board experienced a resignation of a board member. By state law, we had 30 days to replace that vacancy on the board. We posted and advertised the position. The board had close to 3 hours of interviewing and another close to 2 hours of discussion, deliberation. At the end of that evening, the board was unable to select a candidate to replace, to fill the vacant seat. By state law, since this board could not do that task, it was turned over to the ISD. The ISD then advertised the position. They had people submit letters of interest to the ISD board. And then at the ISD's board meeting, they unanimously 5-0 selected Mr. Jason Monk to fill the vacant seat on the board, which, excuse me, unexpired term that expires December 31st, 2024. So I'd like to welcome back to the board table Mr. Jason Monk. Next on the agenda, item 6, the consent agenda. Under the consent agenda this evening, item 6A, approval of minutes. 1, the November 9th, 2023 Committee of the Whole workshop, the November 4th, 2023 work session retreat, the October 18th, 2023 regular meeting, the October 12th, 2023 committee workshop. Item 6B, approval of bills for payment. B1, October payments to vendors. Item 6C, new hires. 1, kindergarten teacher. The chair would entertain a motion relative to the consent agenda.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by member J. Walker, second by member D. Walker. All right, any questions, comments, concerns regarding the consent agenda? Hearing or seeing none, call the roll, please.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Mrs. Cahoon?
Yes.
Ms. Collins?
Yes.
Dr. McFadden?
Yes.
Mr. Monk?
Yes.
Mr. Rickman?
Yes, the motion carries. Item 7, Business Committee. 7A, snow lawn bids. Item 7B. Oh, no, these are action items. Mr. Superintendent, item A.
Are we on C for
We're set.
kindergarten? You're good? We're down.
Yeah, that was all in
For item
consent.
7, got you. Okay. Well, thank you. As you can see, Mrs. Dawes had a commitment for family tonight, so I am taking over with her recommendations, and we have 2 recommendations for your approval tonight. The first one is snow and lawn care removal. These are things that we discussed at our board workshop last week. We had a couple of vendors complete apply for, or I don't want to say apply.
Put a bid.
They put in the bid. There we go. They submitted a proposal or a bid for the RFP that we put out. And last week I spoke about before I had this conversation with Jennifer, I want moving forward all contracts to be 1-year contracts. This RFP had already went out for 2 years, so this one is going to be for 2 years. It is still with the same lawn care company, Marinos. However, even though it's a 2-year, and you'll see, I don't know if you have this in your handout yet, but at any time, either party can terminate the agreement with the 30-day notice. So I feel comfortable with that. And so the recommendation is that the board makes a motion to approve Marinos as the vendor for snow and snow removal and lawn care moving forward.
It's been recommended that the board approve the proposal submitted for snow and lawn bids by Merino Landscaping. Chair would entertain a motion relative to the recommendation.
So moved.
Moved by member D. Walker,
Support.
second by member J. Walker. Any questions, comments, concerns regarding agenda item 7A, snow and lawn bid?
How many bids were received?
2.
2 bids were received.
And they were the cheapest, the lowest bid they came into for both. I know that was a question last week. Snow and lawn, they were the lowest for both services.
And then if anything comes up with Merino, they're not doing a good job, you can, and then you're just gonna go back for RFP?
Yep.
Okay.
30-day notice.
Okay.
I do plan, just for the record, I plan on sitting down with their owner to clearly articulate my expectations, our expectations moving forward. I know when I first came in this July, you know, there was a lot of conversation about weeds and when they do them, when they not, when do they service the weeds or don't service them in the rules. And so I want some clarity, and I plan on establishing those expectations when we sit down.
Any additional questions, comments, concerns? Seeing or hearing none, call the roll, please.
Mr. Walker,
Yes.
Mrs. Walker,
Yes.
Mrs. Cahoon,
Yes.
Ms. Collins,
Yes.
Dr. McFadden,
Yes.
Mr. Monk,
Yes.
Mr. Rickman.
Yes, motion carries. Item 7B, resolution to collect summer taxes. Mr. Superintendent.
Yes, sir. Our recommendation is that, I guess that I've learned through this process as well, this is something that has happened historically every year. We have to pay these summer taxes, so it's a recommendation to the board that we make a motion to approve the annual summer tax resolution as presented.
You've heard the recommendation. The chair would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by member J. Walker to approve the resolution to collect summer taxes.
Support.
Second by member D. Walker. Is that one resolution or is it two? Because I know we have two separate entities. We have the city of Mount Clemens and then we have Clinton Township.
I believe this is one.
There should be, I think there should be two.
Mount Clemens Community School District. So I don't know if that normally happens at the same time or if there's another one coming.
Yeah, they should. One is to Clinton Township and one is to the city.
Yeah, I remember us discussing that last week. We have one here.
Ms. L says she has two.
Oh, you got two? Okay. Well, Ms. L, we have two.
Are there any questions regarding the motion on the floor to approve the resolution to have the city of Mount Clemens and Clinton Township collect the school district summer taxes? Seeing or hearing none, call the roll, please.
Mrs. Walker,
Yes.
Mr. Walker,
Yes.
Mrs. Cahoon,
Yes.
Ms. Collins,
Yes.
Dr. McFadden,
Yes.
Mr. Monk,
Yes.
Mr. Rickman.
Yes, the motion carries. Item 8 from the curriculum, 8A, resolution to School of Choice resolutions for school year 2023-2024 second semester. Mr. Superintendent.
Mr. Assistant Superintendent, Ms. Lavender.
Over the past decade and more, Mount Clemens Community Schools has consistently lost enrollment ranging from approximately 1,200 students in the 13-14 school year to 753 during the 22-23 school year. The start of the 23-24 school year has been positive with regards to enrollment, as we have seen an increase of approximately 25 students above last year's total. Current administrators and district leaders are focused on increasing the district's enrollment through increased expectations, improved programming, and building strong relationships throughout our school community. Increased enrollment yields increased funding, which in turn allows us to plan for and implement more and better opportunities for our students. Per the State of Michigan's Pupil Accounting Manual, opening enrollment for the second semester no later than 2 weeks prior to the end of the first semester, the districts shall publish grade levels, school buildings, or specific programs for which enrollment for the second semester may be available. The district may receive applications during the last 2 weeks of the first semester by beginning of the second semester using a random drawing and waiting list procedures as required. The district shall determine which non-resident applications will be allowed to enroll in the district. Notification to the parent or legal guardian shall specify the grade level, school building, or specific program for which the applicant has been accepted by the date which the applicant must enroll in the district and the procedure for enrollment. The date for enrollment shall be no later than the end of the first week of the second semester. Applications will be accepted from grades DK through 12 from January 13th through January 26th, 2024. Students must be accepted and enrolled by January 26th, 2024. The recent efforts to attract and retain students has proven to be effective. As we work to strengthen and stabilize our district, we need to continue to increase our enrollment. Our recommendation, the Mount Clemens Community Schools Administration recommends opening for schools of choice for the second semester of the 23-24 school year with unlimited seats, kindergarten through 12th grade as presented.
You've heard the recommendation regarding agenda item 8A, School of Choice Resolution for 2023-2024 second semester. The chair would entertain a motion relative to the recommendation.
So moved.
Moved by Member J. Walker.
Support.
Moved by Member D. Walker. Second, Member J. Walker. Any questions, comments, concerns regarding the recommendation and the motion on the floor? Hearing or seeing none, call the roll, please.
Mr. Walker,
Yes.
Mrs. Walker,
Yes.
Mrs. Cahoon,
Yes.
Ms. Collins,
Yes.
Dr. McFadden,
Yes.
Mr. Monk,
Yes.
Mr. Rick.
Yes, the motion carries. Item 9, discussion of the board superintendent goals. 9A, approve proposed goals. You want to start, Mr. Superintendent?
Yep. As we discussed before, 2 Saturdays ago, we had a board retreat where we worked together and collaborated to establish board superintendent goals. We also put in a lot of hard work and came out of there with 4 pretty solid goals. And I have those to share. I can read them off, and we can make a decision to adopt those as my goals or our goals. The first one is under climate and culture. The superintendent will create a climate and culture conducive to student achievement and performance. The second one is under student achievement. 100% of our students will show student growth. Graduation rates will increase by 2%. On finance and sustainability, the superintendent will create and develop a fiscally sound budget and process that supports district goals. And the fourth goal, community outreach, the superintendent will develop a plan to implement and address community engagement and outreach. Those are the four goals, and I guess the recommendation is to approve or adopt those goals for me.
For us, for the school year.
Yeah.
Well, most of us were involved in the workshop on a couple of Saturdays ago, and we all came to consensus around those 4 themes and those 5 or 6 specific goals up under those 4 themes. Chair would entertain a motion relative to the approval of the proposed goals for school year 2023-2024.
So moved.
Moved by Member D. Walker.
Support.
Second, Member J. Walker. Are there any questions, comments, concerns regarding the motion on the floor? Yeah, I would just like to add for clarification, one of the goals was to increase our graduation rate by 2%. A couple of years ago, our graduation rate was very low, and we were on a watch list by the state, and they call it a state partnership. The requirements by the state partnership to stay in compliance with that program is that we increase our graduation rate by 1%. Our graduation rate 2 years ago, I think, was 63%, which got us in this partnership. The graduation rate for this June of 2023 was 85%. This board felt that we needed to do a little more than the minimum that the state required us to do, thus the 2% over 1%. It is always our goal to have 100% of our students graduate, but we didn't want to set ourselves up for failure immediately. So the board came to a consensus that we would have a goal that we would increase the graduation rate by a minimum of 2% of the current 85% of students graduating. Any additional comments, questions, or concerns regarding the motion on the floor? Hearing and seeing none, call the roll, please.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mrs. Cahoon?
Yes.
Ms. Collins?
Yes.
Dr. McFadden?
Yes.
Mr. Monk?
Yes.
Mr. Rickman?
Yes, motion carries. Informational items. Item 10 of the Business Committee. 10A, financial reports. Are there any questions regarding the financial reports? Item 10B, contract listings. Are there any questions regarding the contract listings? Seeing or hearing none, moving the agenda. Item 11, superintendent's comments. A, strategic planning, 90-day update. Mr. Superintendent.
Okay, so back to the screen.
Somebody order a pizza? We'll be here in 30 minutes.
Take as much time as you want. Don't worry about it. That sounds like a shot across the bow.
Yep, I expected that one. I'm working on that. I'm gonna try to be really fast, but I want this to be more of a, I'm okay with this being more of a, if you got questions or just need some clarity on some things, I can always elaborate, and we can, you will have copies of what I have here to, if you want to talk any further or deeper. So what I did is, go ahead, Dave, to the next slide. In my 90-day entry plan, well, we always start with this, right? Let's go back. A new standard of excellence is our motto. It's the expectation. It is what people are sick of hearing. But I think some of the success and the growth that some of our principals shared tonight is what we mean when we say a new standard of excellence, and that's doing what's in the best interest of our students and our school community, which includes all of us. And defining our why. This always resonates with me because in my tenure in education, a lot of times we forget the purpose behind what we do. We just start doing things. We're out of comfort or out of, really it's just comfort because we've been doing them. It's what we know. So it's my job to make sure that with everything we do, the purpose is identified. So when we have meetings, we start off meetings with what we call our learning intention or success criteria or our purpose. Sometimes it's just, hey, why are we doing this? And that gets lost a lot of times with all of the rules, regulations, policies, procedures, grants. Sometimes the purpose behind why we're meeting gets lost. And I try to do a good job in making sure that we identify that, because it's so stressful. You know, you'll look up and say, hey, why are we even doing these things? And staff and people in general, our students are seeking clarity. Why am I learning this? Why is this important? Why does this matter to me? They'll tell you. Why do I got to learn that? We got to be ready to answer that question, right? And so when kids ask us, why are we learning this? We better be ready to answer it, or else they're not going to see the value in it. So we're going to continue to define our why in everything that we do, our purpose. All right, Dave. So what I did was there were 4 focus areas that were presented to you in my 90-day entry plan. I kind of just recreated those 4. We kind of recreated those 4 areas because David is more tech savvy than me, so he helped with the structure. Thank you, David. But area 1 was to ensure effective district governance and through positive board and superintendent relationships was one of my goals for that 90-day entry plan. And it's really more than a 90-day entry plan. These are things that will have happen and continue to happen throughout my time as a superintendent. It was just what was put into the 90-day plan, but they don't stop on the 91st day. So to do some of those things and focus on them, there's as you'll see at the last slides, there are a million things that we have focused on and we have worked to implement. And I won't go through them all, but we'll talk about them. So on this first focus area, I've met with the board members initially coming in. As most of you remember, we had individual meetings. The goal was to have individual meetings once a month. That wasn't realistic now that I'm in the seat, and I figured that out. So we will, I try to stay in communication with the board regularly, weekly updates, conversations as needed, phone conversations, and that's been really helpful for my growth here. Is your accessibility and ability to pick up the phone when I need you, or vice versa. So that has been ongoing check-ins again with the board, monthly with the board president, on a weekly sometimes it's every other week, sometimes it's every day. Me and Mr. Rickman have to talk about something. So we're in constant communication about things as needed. Board superintendent retreat. We had our retreat to establish goals. One of the things I want to do is, I think the next step after we get a few things, business things identified, I want us to have our own retreat where we go in and through the school improvement process, we talk about who we are and our purpose and how we're going to do things and come together with and be on the same page with those expectations and goals and our purpose as a district. Go ahead, Dave. Area 2 was to establish public trust, confidence, and leadership transition while developing shared vision to support a positive culture. So everything that I've done and we have done to engage the community, to hear the community, we're doing it, right? We've had parent meetings, roundtable discussions, students, families. I've had individual meetings with staff. I have small groups meeting with staff. I've met with the mayor, Mark Hackle's office, sheriff's office, ministerial alliance. I mean, I can't even list the things that we all have done to try to connect with this community and let people know we're here and what our needs are and figure out ways that we can collaborate and connect and bring life back into this place. I'm at every event that I can be at, so back to school bash. I felt uncomfortable putting those things on there because I don't do those things because it's my job. I do those things because I love the kids to look over and see people supporting them. And I think that is just authentic and a way to do that. So I go to all the games I can go to, homecoming. I love those things. I was that kid that didn't have anybody in the stands watching me play. So I always want to, I'm going to do that no matter what. Alumni events. I had a good time at the Rec Bowl for that first break-in for our alumni event, but I've had conversations and meetings with several individual alumni. Haven't been able to quite pull together the alumni group or committee. They got some things going on. People are in different places, but I've talked to and have met with Mr. Giles, Mr. Sutherland, and several different alumni from our community, and they want to come back, they want to give back, they want to be involved, and we've been in communication regularly. I'm continuously assessing our district. Our safety plans, as you know, is the priority. Our emergency operation plans, EOP they're called. We're in work with the county right now. We've done ALICE training. We're doing a vulnerability assessment. What the county's going to come in. They're going to meet with the principals, tour the buildings to see our vulnerability. All those things are in process to make sure that we're safe. Student code of conduct, Alice, all of those things that we have done. We are constantly reviewing and looking at every policy, practice, and procedure in our district and making adjustments on the go. And my question is always, why do we do that? And if we can't answer that, then David will tell you, then we're not going anywhere until we can answer that. It has to be intentional. It has to be purposeful. And so that's just our culture now. We got to have the why behind whatever we do. Continuing to assess and analyze our policies and procedures. I mean, there's a number of things that we've made adjustments to from our hiring process, which I don't know if there might have been one at some point in time, but you know, we've put that in place like in the middle of being in the interview, right? Like, no, so our hiring process is written, is documented. One of the things I've found coming here is, and it goes to the amount of transiency with leadership. I'm assuming, right? There things get lost in the shuffle. There was nothing to hand down to me to say, hey, this is the policy or procedure for hiring process or whatever we do. And again, for whatever reason, it doesn't matter. We're here. We're putting those things in place. And so our hiring practices are written, they're documented, and we follow them. Anybody that's interviewed in this district, it goes through at least 2 rounds. First round is usually with the team made up from the school district or what, the appropriate building. The second round always includes me. And I want to touch everybody that comes in here. I want to know if they fit our culture and what we're trying to do. HR, Mr. Lavender was mad at me yesterday because we had a great candidate who appeared to be great. I just knew that candidate thought they were coming here because we were some no issue having, great place and easy to work is what I felt in my gut. And the next day that person called and declined any conversation and said, I don't want to come. And that's what I want to do. That's the intent. I want people here that want to be here, that want to work here. And so I'm very transparent and open with our struggles, where we are. I don't want people to come here and say, oh, it's inconsistent for our kids. No, I don't want to, I don't like it here, I'm going back. So just don't come. And I respect that. Go ahead, area 3, I'm sorry. Develop a strategic action plan to increase and sustain student achievement. As you all know, that I've sent out a survey. I think we have about 120, 30 responses now from the community. And it was, I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm surprised because it's hard to get community sometimes to fill out surveys. So all stakeholders, that's been blasted out, regularly updated and communicated by our principals on our website, on our app. And we got about 120 responses. And I mean people from all different walks. You got parents, teachers, employees, you name it. I even think David filled it out. I saw a David name on the list. But we got feedback from everyone who has a stake in our district. And so I'm excited about that plan. You all have that process and the timeline. Dates are shifting a little bit. Kaylee, I hope you got that change and invite. We asked our union president, David, myself, our principals in-house are going to be, I don't want to have this group have to worry about breaking down survey data. So we're going to break it down and then present it to you for the next step. But our strategic plan process is in place, and we are in the midst of implementing. All data plans and procedures, like I said, have been reviewed, are ongoing and constantly reviewed, and appropriate adjustments are being made. Ongoing meetings with Chief Academic Officer. So I meet regularly with Alicia Fly. She's the Chief Academic Officer for the MISD. They have been very supportive, as well as our superintendent, County Superintendent Mike DeVault, myself, our CFO, and Nicolisha, our accountant. I think she's back there. She's there. We meet with them once a month. They're just supporting us just to be on the same page. If we have any questions, they gave us a compliment recently. They told my finance department that it's been the best group that they have worked with in their experience with Mount Clemens Community School. So shout out to the finance department. Piece of them are back there. Hello, everybody. Yeah. We can clap for them. Let me pause for a second. Everything that I'm telling you, I may be at the top, but those people back there, Mrs. L, David, Teresa, Jen, Marie, Marty. Anyone I'm leaving out? There's nobody. I wouldn't be as successful as I have been thus far. The little success that I've had myself, if it wasn't for those people. As I sat to brainstorm about what to present to you, I couldn't even remember how we're doing so much, and I'm not doing it by myself. These people are jumping in and running with whatever. I'm texting, emailing, waking up, rolling over, oh my, and just operating with that sense of urgency. And they have been right there, not to complain, but to get it done for the greater good of this team. So it makes it easy when you have a staff and a team that is ready to roll with whatever. And I appreciate them. And none of the things that we've heard tonight would be possible without them and their involvement, because, I mean, they make sure we get paid, we make sure we got people. And Mrs. L make sure I am where I'm supposed to be, as well as on time, even though I talk too much. So she ends my meetings all the time. But anyway, I want to thank them. All right, picking it back up, we have as Mr. Rickman indicated earlier, because we have that partnership agreement, because of our graduation rate, we have what we call a PAL. It's a partner from the MDE that we have a regular scheduled meetings with. His name is Paul. He's the best presenter in education. David loves to meet with him. We meet with him at least once a month to talk about our plan and our action steps of accomplishing our goal and becoming and moving out of that partnership agreement. And that's our goal, is eventually come out of that plan. It's a 3-year plan. I think we're in year 1. So And so we're working that plan to address those needs and issues. Okay, area 3, 4. Increase organizational effectiveness, efficiency, and sustainability. Everything I've already mentioned is what we're doing to do those things. So all finances, grants, budgets. I'm asking questions all day, every day about money, how we spend it, why we spend it, and is there a better way to spend it, or whatever procedures that we have in place or don't have in place. They're regularly analyzed, reported out, have ongoing meetings with the central office staff to discuss where we are, what adjustments needs to be made, and we do that daily. That's a part of our daily routine. All operational plans, data systems, structures, routines have been reviewed. Adjustments have been began to be made. Recruitment, retention, human resources. We talked about recruitment a little bit earlier. I tell the principals all the time, we can get the students. I can help us get the students in here with marketing and recruitment, but the staff in these buildings got to keep them. Right, and that goes back to what we heard earlier, how we treat and service our staff and I mean our students and our families. And so we are working on a plan to actually want to put something in writing, if you will, about our intentional recruitment retention plan, especially for our human resources, for our staff. We want to keep the people that are effective. That's the bottom line. And for those that aren't, we want to help coach them up. If you've heard me say from day one, we can coach you up or coach you out. But we are operating with a sense of urgency. And our students have been losing historically quickly. So every day that we let somebody be in front of our kids that is failing them, we aren't doing our job. And it's our job to identify that, try to help those people grow, but they got to be willing. And we have those tough conversations daily, and we're doing what's best for kids in this community. Administrator-teacher evaluation process, again, that has been identified, put in place. We are working with the teacher union to roll out a adjusted or a new teacher evaluation process that is more realistic and better for kid results, right? It's a win-win. It's more efficient for them, and it's better for our students, and there will be data pieces, NWEA potentially involved in that, but it is what I am comfortable with using and what I know and I've seen the results with. And we have met with the union leadership. They are on board. They have been looking at it and giving feedback. So that two-way communication has been ongoing since we began that process, as well as administrators. We have established early on the administrators' expectations. We had a presentation from Clemens and Blaha on the administrator evaluation, what the expectations are. David and I have met with both principals to establish their goals. They have 4 goals apiece. 2 of those were defined by us, and then we collaborated with 2 with them. and they know what those are. We will meet with them periodically throughout the year to address their goals, where they are, their growth, if their struggles, whatever it is. We want to set everybody up for success. So there's no secrets. We're going to meet. We're going to discuss it. Here's the reality, and the adjustments have to be made. So principals have that information. They've been trained. They know their goals. They have the tool, and we're excited about the potential that process can help them, how that process can help them grow. Data-driven decisions, as well as all the administrators, all central office have been trained on the evaluation process. Data-driven decisions, we've talked about that. That has been the focal point. Everything we do, the why behind it, the information that supports it. Implemented recruitment and marketing strategies, you've heard about those earlier, and we'll go on. This last slide I'll show you. I'm not going to go through all of these. This is just a comprehensive list of not even everything that we have done. And I can't take credit for all of it. I mean, my team, everybody in that central office has been a part of these different initiatives. And this thing's up. I mean, I still was adding to that list, so I'm not going to go through that. I can share this with you, but we have been nonstop at trying to bring in resources, bring in opportunities for our kids, get better, grow. What are best practices for student teaching and learning? What are best practices for addressing the social emotional health? How do we develop our staff and become more culturally responsive, investing in them? Our child study process, I can get into some details. I mean, I was in a great meeting today over at Seminole with about 10 experts, our staff members, to work for one child, one little girl who's struggling. And that's a process that we are defining right now, is the child study process. That wasn't in place. Our MTSS process, which is our multi-tier systems of support process, that's the process that kids usually go through at the early stages and before they end up being diagnosed with a disability. We have been working with the staff and the team to define that process. And the child study process is more aligned with behavior. One of the big elephants in the room is that, and it's not unique to us, as a predominantly black school district, we have double the identification, meaning the state average for students with disabilities in a school is like 12%. Am I right or wrong? Or close. It's about 12%. We were almost 30. So that was really alarming for me coming in, right? Are we just identifying kids because they're bad, or we gotta look at that and make sure that we, as you may or may not know, oftentimes in education, especially for our black boys, once they become identified as special ed, sometimes the expectations are lowered, and then it ends up to an increase in misbehavior, and then the expectations unconsciously are lower because they're special ed. That's the excuse, and it just feeds our high school to prison pipeline. And there's research that can associate suspension and being identified with a disability that supports what I'm telling you right now. So what we wanted to do is make sure that we are not wrongfully identifying anybody or unintentionally. I don't think anybody has been doing that on purpose, but we need to make sure the process is clear, and you wouldn't want to go to the doctor and be diagnosed with the wrong ailment, because now you're going to get medicine for something you don't need it for. And that's not okay. So that has been the latest thing we've been really focused on, is making sure we are doing our due diligence, making sure people in the room understand what that process looks like, following it, implementing a plan for those students, monitoring, coming back, making adjustments before we move a student down that line to be identified with a disability. And all that means is the kids just learn different. That's what a special ed means. They learn different. And then that is what makes it really tough for us as educators, because now we got to figure out how to teach a student that doesn't learn the way that I learn, right? Most teachers teach the way that they learn. And you got a classroom of 30 kids that all learn different ways at different, you're in third grade and you're teaching sixth grade, and there's kids in there, 10 of them are on the second grade reading level. 10 of them are on the fifth grade. Some might be on grade level. And we're asking the teachers to differentiate and meet all of those kids' needs. It is a strenuous task, and it is very difficult to do, and people work hard every day to do it, but we want to make sure, again, that we are not misdiagnosing anyone. So those are really big rocks for me. Everything else is up there. I won't go through that whole list. If you got any questions about something on that list, I've never been in so many associations in my life. But it's been very helpful. Michigan African American Association of Superintendents, they're all up there. It has been a plethora of learning for me. I've gained more knowledge in this short amount of time than I have probably doing anything else. I have a network of other superintendents who have been around forever. There's a cohort of us that are new that meet at the state level regularly. I've met with Superintendent Rice from the MDE, and so it's been ongoing professional development for myself, and that has been really eye-opening and a great experience. I have a network of superintendents that I can reach out to when I got questions, and so yeah, there's a lot up there. I can get it to you. I will get it to you if you would like that list. I'm fine right now. I know that's not the part of the plan normally, but if anything you want to discuss or questions you have that you would like for me to elaborate a little more on, I'm willing to do that. Okay. Well, I want to take this time again. I want to acknowledge that central office staff that make me look good. But I also want to acknowledge you all, and I've done this before. I tell people this all the time. People ask me, just being transparent, how's the board? How's the board? I said, listen, they haven't told me no yet about doing things for our kids. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate your support, and I appreciate you trusting me like you did when you selected me to be here. And even though I could be in a much easier place, I would rather be nowhere else. This work is hard, but I go home fulfilled every day. And even though I don't sleep, I do sleep well when I do go to sleep, because I know we're doing the right work for our community and the people that need it. Monday, still working out the kinks. Don't forget our turkey drive, giving out, our goal was 800. We'll be 500 to 800 turkeys we'll be giving out. You got that information. Please feel free to come, support. If you got time, come and be a face, be out there, help out, whatever it is. It's going to be simple. We're just doing turkeys. It's going to be a drive in the loop, get your turkey, see you later. Then we're going to go over to Seminole at dismissal, catch any parents that are dropping off with the trucks, give away turkeys, and then we're going to finish up. I'm still waiting on the contact with Mr. Barnes from Carnes Center, because we want to go to the community and give out whatever we have left there over in that community. So I was also thinking about reaching out to you. I know you got connections over there as well. So if we got turkeys left after we leave Seminole, we're going to go into the community and disseminate the rest. So please feel free to join us, or for whatever time you can. I think it'll be a good show with you out there. So thank you for your support. And I'll make this is our why. So this is taped to my desk, my conference table. This is taped to the board in my office right now. If you go right now. So when I have tough conversations, and our union president and teachers in this room, and she can tell you this, right? From day one, my why is right here. All right? And I'm going to tell you what we're looking at. I know you all get it, but I had this data pulled up because I wanted to paint this picture. And this goes from a time span from 2015 to last year, and it shows our total expenditures, total enrollment, proficiency in English language arts on the M step, those are all right here, PSAT, and so on. And when people ask me why the change, why the push, why the stress, why the pressure, why, here's our why. Because what we have done historically has not worked. This ain't personal, this ain't Roper, this ain't because I know it all. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. This is our why. What we have done historically has not been effective for whatever reason. Ain't no blame game, it is what it is. 2015, we had 1,114 students. Last year, we had 753. Right, there's a reason for that. And maybe that reason has something to do with the underperformance. Or maybe that underperformance, a piece of data that's not up here, is the number of suspensions in our response to behavior. That might lead, if a kid is not in school, you can't expect them to pass this test. If they spend half their time out of the building, You think they're going to pass the M-STEP or the PSAT? So there's a cultural shift that we're trying to do that's going to address all of these things. And if the mindset, and as we're working with our staff to buy into, the goal is to figure out how to keep kids in school, right? If we can keep them here, we can address these things. If they're not here, that will not happen. So as you can see, when I sit in the county meetings, I take this personal. I wasn't here, but you would never hear me say that. But when I'm in the county meetings and superintendents and we have the lowest proficiency rate, now again, we ain't comparing apples to apples all the time. We know some other affluent communities have some resources and some things, but I don't care, because life doesn't care, right? They'll say, oh, because you came from a poor family or you didn't have, nobody's gonna mail you a check. So the expectation doesn't go down. And all our students aren't poor or those, but I'm just using that for the majority. We are identified as an at-risk school district. But when I sit at these tables, I take this stuff personally. Just because we are who we are doesn't mean our kids can't learn. And I want to make sure that that is clear to everybody in this community, everywhere we go. I don't care, you still can learn. And so that's my fight. This upsets me when I look at it. And then I'm texting David and Ms. L and the team and saying, we need to do this, we got to do something different. We got to, every day. But when people want to know why or they want to be comfortable, we don't have time for that. We are failing kids. We heard the positives. We do have some goals, some great things, and some celebrations happening. But overwhelmingly, in the past, we have traditionally let this community down. And we know within here, again, when I say we, I just take responsibility. We know the risk factors. We know what mama's not doing, daddy may not, whoever, whatever. But as we know as adults, life doesn't care that you're special ed, that you didn't have a daddy, or you're home. No, I mean, people, at the end of the day, nobody is going to mail you a check. So we have to operate with empathy, push our students to, hey, that's all right, you still can make it. You still can be successful, you still can be great. And when you do make it out of those circumstances, you're even that much more powerful, right? Then you're really unstoppable. So when you want to know our why, when anybody's questioning what we're doing and why we're changing, and because comfort is human nature, this is what I pull up. If you show me some success or even going in the right direction, then I'm going to say, hey, let me say this. When we do identify positive trends, and I don't care if it's instructionally, recruitment, in any area, we're tapping that person because we're building a professional learning community. Say, hey, Ms. Walker, I saw the student growth in your class in reading. What did you do? I need you to share that with Mr. Rickman next door because the experts are in this community. We just have to find out the people's strengths and use those to the best of our ability and maximize them. So our why is right here. Here's the biggest thing for me, and this is what I get really motivated about. Despite this failure, or low, I'm not gonna say failure, low performing, and we know it's bigger than this test score, it's about growth for us, and that's why we use the NWEA. And in the future, NWEA, our local assessment, will be up here because we want to see growth. This won't necessarily measure growth. To a certain extent it will, but we use NWEA as a more real time right now, and it's aligned in the crosswalks with M-STEP. So if we have growth in NWEA, all the research shows that you'll see growth here because the two assessments are aligned. All right, so we'll have it up here. But this top bar right here is what infuriates me. For whatever reason, despite all of these declines, we still been spending and people still been getting paid. You see this number in the straight line? $15 million. We even probably have more money now because of the grants and the things, but nobody has missed a check. Right. Nobody has missed a check, but this has been the result. Right. So, and that doesn't, I'm not saying people aren't working and trying, but we have to shift our efforts and maybe do something a little more efficiently to make sure we're seeing results. Because when we all go to buy a house, when we select our community, you looking at, what is it, niche? You're looking at these different things to see how the local school's performing, and you're going to determine where you live. And so it's the reality. It's the game we're playing, and that's what we got to do. So this is readily available. It's public information. I'm not ashamed of it because we're going to make it happen. We're going to do the best we can. We're going to grow. And to impact this, we have to focus on the whole child. Some people think that we should just come here and teach school, ABCs. 1, 2, 3. In this community, we have to develop the whole child. They got to know they're safe. So we got to feed them, we got to counsel them, we got to love them, we got to give them opportunities more and more, and then they'll be willing to even try harder. If some of them just try harder and believe that they could, these numbers would go up, right? But we're going to make sure our kids have this data. They need to know, hey, this is what I used to tell my students when they would click on the test and just get done. I would show them the results and say, you just told the world that you read on the first grade level. This is an opportunity for you to show the world how bright you are and perform. And when you start to have that conversation and that culture becomes the norm that, hey, you're representing yourself. So when you just click away, this is what you're telling people who don't even know you. And our kids are competing for jobs and careers with people from all over the world, not just in Mount Clemens or not just in Michigan. And that has to be our philosophy, and that's the push that we're going to continue to make. And again, I talk about the kids all the time in the community. We can't do this without healthy adults. So our staff is important. We got to take care of them. We got to create an environment where they feel supported. The support is defined, and they can come to school and be safe and learn and grow too. So, yeah, that's our why. This is our why. All right, thank you. I appreciate your attention, and again, we've already having some early success. Job is never done, and we're onward and upward. So thank you.
Can somebody see if the pizza guy here yet?
I did notice the lights go off. I said, Apollo, they got the light.
Thank you, Superintendent Roper.
Thank you.
Takes us to item 12, board comments. Mrs. Cahoon.
So, first off, I want to wish well and good luck to the boys varsity basketball team on their upcoming basketball games. I'm rooting for you. Secondly, welcome back, Mr. Monk. I'm happy to have you next to me and looking forward to working together with you. Next, I want to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I hope you all have an amazing holiday. We all need a break. And hopefully everybody gets to spend time with their loved ones and just relax, watch football and whatnot. I'm thankful for my God, for my family, and I'm also thankful that I'm on this board learning different things, learning new things, and that I have the opportunity that I have. I'm very grateful to the community that had voted me in, and I'm just learning and growing each time I come to the board and interact with the other board members and superintendent. I loved seeing the update today. I was very much anticipating it. I really wanted to see it, and it didn't, I can't think of the word at 50 years old. I can't think of these words, but it didn't disappoint me. I loved seeing all the improvements that have been happening. Those are incredible. The changes at each of the schools, the parent participation that Ms. Bethel was talking about that she wanted to implement, the GSRP. I'm looking forward to going over there and seeing what they're doing. And I love that they all invited each and every one of us to come over and do that. The increase in the, or I should say the decrease or the positiveness with the discipline and suspensions and the absenteeism, that is a big thing for me, and I'm very, very happy to see it. And then the follow-up with the phone calls from the high school is really incredible. Hearing all the amazing things about the district right now is spectacular, and I love it, and I can't wait to hear the next update. The one thing that I want to see moving forward is the promotion of this all. Like, I don't want it to just be at a board update. I want to see it on a weekly basis. I want to see these presentations or these pictures or these success and celebrations shown, because people are sitting at the sidelines watching. They may not be commenting, but they're watching. And we need to show them that. when I got into the business of real estate, they said, don't be a secret agent. And it's the same thing with our kids. We don't want to keep them a secret. We want to show the celebration. We want to show the success of the district. And the second thing I want to say is the brand Mount Clemens, I want to see grow. I know that it's the Bathers, but I want to see the Mount Clemens brand grow. From the Facebook page to the YouTube channel, I think it should be about Mount Clemens Community Schools versus the Bathers. So that way people can see this is Mount Clemens. This is what Mount Clemens Community Schools are doing. So if we can start celebrating and showing all of the successes, like either on a YouTube channel or on the Facebook or Instagram or wherever that is on social media, where everybody is, right? Everybody walks around staring at their phones. That's what I'd like to see. I mean, would love to see the Bather Babble on social media and promoting all the amazing things that we're doing, right? So again, I don't want to see them just at board updates. I want to see them each and every week because I look at that and I want to share those things on social media. I want people to see what Mount Clemens is doing. It's the only way we're going to get people from outside to see. Okay? And I think that's all I have. Thank you.
That pizza guy here yet? Mr. Monk.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm back at the table. I want to say thank you to the ISD and their board for their unanimous consideration to appoint me to this remaining seat. I'll make it clear, I will not be rerunning for this seat. But I did and I do feel that I was the best choice to be in this seat for these reasons. When I came to the committee of the whole, it was like I was still here because everything that y'all was talking about, although I sat out here, I could relate to. Carms, contracts, all of these things. It all just came right back. And I believe that I was the best person to be in this seat to hit the ground running. I ain't got to get retrained. Everything you guys are talking about, I've been through, I've been trained on. So and I want to thank the members who supported me on this endeavor. I'm here to help. When the superintendent called me and he said congratulations on the appointment, one thing, I texted him back, I said what? How can I help? That's what I'm here for. I'm here as and I do this for a lot of businesses you guys don't know because my background is in food industry, bar and restaurant. So I just helped a gentleman who just opened up a bar on the east side of Detroit off of Mac. I just helped him write a policies and procedure manual because that's my background. So I'm well diverse in policy, as Dr. McFadden already knows. So I just want to thank everyone, and I look forward to working with everyone at this table because I can bring something to help. And I was part of the team before I left this table that voted to go out and seek a superintendent. And I just want to say, you guys did a great job in picking a superintendent because when I met with him, walked in this office, he swore me in and everything.
On the first take, I did.
On the first, yeah. Yeah. He swore me in, but then he pulled me to the office and he sat me down and he showed me that diagram that was up on there, and he talked about data-driven. In my training as a board member in 8 years, it's about data-driven. Look at the data, make a wise, make a thought-out, calculated decision, and move forward, fix the problem, continue what you're doing. And, I just want to say, great job to you, Mr. Superintendent, and your team, the administrators and the teachers on just enrollment, first of all. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely a plus. on reading, math, achievement. Any increase is a good, any growth is a good growth. So, you know, just want to say, you know, kudos to you and your team. Keep up the good work. And like I say, how can I help? You know, I get that saying, how can I help, from, you know, in my retirement, I look at a lot of Netflix. And on Netflix, there's this one program that's called Amsterdam Hospital, where this person comes in, and that's all he did, is that he went around and he just encouraged everybody, and the only thing that he said to people was, how can I help? And that's what he did. So I'm here to tell everybody, how can I help? I'm here to work with you on the your community engagement and outreach piece. We talked about it. We was at the football game talking to you, fellow golfer. Yeah. So I am going to put, you know, I'm off my services because I am retired, to put on a Mount Clemens golf outing next year. So we can invite all the stakeholders in, especially the business, everybody. Invite all the stakeholders here, have a great time, and what a better way to do that than golf. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. I'm gonna hurry up here, Mr. President.
3 pizzas.
I want to wish everybody a happy holiday. I know I enjoy the holidays. I was supposed to be on the plane to Atlanta today, but now that I'm a appointed board member, I can't do that. So I had to sacrifice, but I'm glad to be here. And I was going to take their money anyway, you know. So they didn't want me going out there golfing with them. So, you know, this is not personal for me. This is business. I consider this is my civic duty, to step in and help. Step in and help. Step in and help. Bring some ideas. But I don't know how much I can help, because it sounds like you guys got it pretty much, you got your nail on, you know, you got your finger on the pulse right now, which is great. You know, that's a testament to you, you know, so, but I, you know, any way I can, I'm here to help. I made some other notes, but I think, oh, I'll be here Monday. I am retired, so I'll be here Monday for the turkey. I'll pass out some turkeys or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'll put my winter gloves on, golf gloves, so I can stay warm, help you pass off some turkeys. Definitely do that. And I believe, Mr. President, those are my comments. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Walker.
I'll first say it's been a positive, data-driven meeting today. I really like seeing the presentations from our principals, specifically on the math proficiency in NWEA, as you know, my background in high school was math. I really like seeing the piece from Principal McNeely around the student council for middle school and high school. Glad to see that's going to be implemented and back. I think that when we put students in leadership positions, they have a great idea of being able to really hone in on their skills and bring and see what they want to see in the school. Looking forward to see whether their potential field trip to the state capitol. It's a very interesting place once you visit it, to say the least, because you might get lost, you know, take the wrong turn. I'm just looking forward to all this positivity being translated into positive data once we get the ball rolling on that piece in various areas, and just looking forward to working together with this team, continue working on behalf of the students and the staff. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Ms. Collins.
Tonight's information was fantastic to hear everything. One thing I like is, for every negative that we hear right now, the culture here is that we probably have 10 positives we can throw back at you, and I want to keep that momentum going. I'm very excited about the group of people we have together that can throw thoughts and ideas out there and not just have a conversation about them, but have boots on the ground and implementing them. And that plays a large impact on our growth, and we're only going to continue to keep moving in that direction. Very excited about everything that's happening. There's more coming. We all know there's more coming. More ideas are being thrown out there. More support in the community. I'm seeing that a lot more over the last couple months, which is definitely going to continue to grow as I think they start to see all these positives. Other than that, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Enjoy your holiday with your family, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you, Ms. Collins. Ms. Walker.
I too just want to say a big thank you to the superintendent, our principals, teachers, central office staff. You guys are rocking it. We are headed in the right direction for the first time in a long time, and we're on our way. And things are going to change for the better, and this is wonderful. I mean, it's beyond exciting. There's nothing negative about tonight, and the news is just fabulous. And I want to wish everybody a blessed and beautiful Thanksgiving with family and friends. And you know, these golf outings, can we do putt-putt? Because my real golf game, you do not want me. But you play putt-putt, I am there. Those are my comments.
Thank you, Ms. Walker. Dr. McFadden.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Monk, welcome back. Good to see you. Awesome to hear about the winter sports for the middle school and high school. I mean, that's a big positive. Always got to have something for the middle school students and high school students to move forward. Congrats and thank you for the principal update. That was amazing. That was perfect. The data is supported with the facts. I want to say that this is evident of a team effort. I'm talking about the teachers. I'm talking about the union. The non-union is evidence that all hands are on deck. And that is the biggest positive that I'll hear around this table tonight. Teamwork. And we're not going to go nowhere without teamwork. And the biggest thing about that is we are reaching out to the community. We are beginning to be a Mount Clemens Community School District, part of the district, part of the city. And that's a big plus. I love to see the city getting involved with the district. And I love to see the outreach communities such as Carnes and those individuals getting involved with the district. New Way, everybody else. So I want to say this is a big plus. Now the teamwork is really coming together. With that being said, this holiday coming up, which is the Thanksgiving holiday, is the night before. It's like the #1 drinking night of the year. So if you are out there driving on the roads, please be careful. Please be attentive of the individuals around you. I'm going to always say have a safe and happy holiday. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Dr. McFadden. Next board meeting, I might lose my protocol of having ladies first. Because you take everything. And then I sound like I'm repeating when I come. I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. When I come last, you know, it's like, oh, here he's gonna repeat what everybody else has said. But so be it. First of all, congrats to the SIT team, school improvement teams. They had a lot of activities, a lot of engagement in what the reports, the presentations that we heard tonight, and it goes deeper than just the classroom teachers, the parapros, the support staff, the custodians, maintenance, food service. It's all about all of us collectively as a team. When I was president of the National School Boards Association, my theme was teamwork, dream work, together we can. That's what Dr. McFadden was alluding to, the teamwork. The team is coming on board. The team is buying into the directions that the superintendent has hammered down through his ranks, and everyone is buying into that, as opposed to pushing back, because I've been on this board a long time, and I've experienced some times when there was an initiative going forward and other folks were going the other direction. And that didn't serve anybody well when you look at that data that the superintendent showed. But it shows a change in the culture, a change in how we operate and how we do things. It was a very positive presentation, very encouraging data, and we applaud ourselves and we celebrate, but we can't celebrate too long because we still got more work to do, and we've only just begun in our endeavors to change what excellent means in this district. The board talked about and we approved 4 areas of goals. The board's responsibility is to determine the what. Superintendent and his team, the information that he showed in his 90-day strategic planning, he took part of that took the what that the board had put in track, and it's his responsibility to take the what that the board has developed and develop the how we get there. He develops the how we ensure that 100% of our students show student growth, show positive student growth. That is the work and the responsibility of the superintendent and his team. That's the how. The board stays at the what. So our 4 areas of goals, we determine the what. Now we go back, put it in the superintendent's hand. He develops the how we get to those, how we achieve those goals. So everybody, it's a team effort, but everybody has their assigned, defined roles that they play on the team. And again, it's very encouraging, very positive presentation. We've had some presentations in the past that weren't as positive, and it shows that, again, there's a different mindset that's starting to generate in this district. It's much needed and much appreciated, and we still have a long ways to go. Congratulations to the boys football team. They made it to the playoffs, but they ran into a buzzsaw. And we were defeated in the first round, but there are a lot of teams that didn't make it that far. Look forward to the upcoming winter sports season, boys and girls basketball. I think the wrestling team, it will be trying to put that together as another winter sports. And we're trying to continually find ways to have positive experiences for our students. I'm glad that during the workshop we talked about implementing middle school sports, and I'm glad we've moved that forward, and we need to still look at what can we do for the girls in the middle school to be in line with Title IX of equal access. If we offer a certain activity and if there's not enough participants, that's one thing. It's not because we didn't offer it, but if we offer something and we don't have enough participation to activate that activity, then we've done our job in trying to balance and keep equal access for both the boys and the girls in extracurricular activities in the school district. So kudos out to the staff. Keep up the good work. Stay safe over the holiday. Happy Thanksgiving. And it's not just to those people that are fortunate enough and blessed to be able to sit down at a table and have a meal, to have a family around them. But there are a lot of folks that don't have that pleasure and that luxury. And in some way, if you can, try to do something for those type of people as well, because it's just what we should do. So stay safe, and those are my comments. Chair would entertain a motion.
Can I have one last thing? I got with the cheese bread.
With the what, huh?
I got make some cheese bread real fast after the pizza's done. Something I forgot. I just want to acknowledge something. I always say this about Mrs. L. Mrs. L is, I always say she keeps me where I'm supposed to be schedule-wise, but she does so much more than that, and I want to just make that known. From communication to this, working with you all, with the board, this is really hard. In any district I've ever been in, I want to just give you a picture real fast, right? And even though she's learning, she got a long way to go too, like all of us. in every district I've been in, there has been a Miss L for HR, there's a Miss L for curriculum, there's a Miss L for CFO. We have one administrative assistant in our office. I don't think people really understand that. Like, I want you to think about that in the branch of any business. The people at the top have one administrative assistant. So Ms. L is the administrative assistant to the superintendent, human resources, curriculum, CFO, and anybody else, board, secretary. And so she does, I always say she keeps me where I'm supposed to be, but she does much more than that. She also was responsible for collecting the money for our turkey giveaway, which we'll at a later date acknowledge them individually, but we've raised in that short amount of time. As you can remember, it was quick. I said, you know what, let's do a turkey giveaway. And in that short period of time, because of all of our efforts, we've raised about $4,400. So I just wanted to say that about Miss L. She don't get enough, but she gets abused a lot. I'm done.
Motion to adjourn.
Sure. Item 13.
Support.
She already
I already
motioned
did
before
motion
you
to
said.
adjourn.
Okay. Moved by Member Cahoon, second by Member McFadden. Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Cahoon,
Yes.
Dr. McFadden,
Yes.
Ms. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Monk,
Yes.
Mr. Rickman,
Yes.
Mr. Walker,
Yes.
Mrs. Walker.
Yes.
Motion carries. Meeting was adjourned at 8:32 in the PM. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your energy, efforts, and time.